Welcome to the Q&A for the film Stalpuran. My name is Bhaskar Choudhury. I am a host of a show called the South Asian Sessions on Solihull Radio. And on behalf of the UK Asian Film Festival, I'd like to welcome writer, director, and editor Akshay Indikar. Welcome to the Q&A.
Hello, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to interact with you.
Now, the film Stalpuran is part of UK AFF 2021. It's the festival's 23rd edition. So, firstly, it's a sad state of affairs that we can't have you here in person because of what's going on in the world. But hopefully soon.
Yeah, we also looking in this situation is really getting tough day by day.
Yes. Fingers crossed things will start to improve soon. So congratulations on Stalpuran. It's a fascinating film. That's the first word that kind of comes to mind after watching it. But before we get onto the film, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And in particular, when you were growing up, now I understand you were born in Sholapur.
Yeah.
And you grew up there. Did that influence your career choice? Did you always want to be a filmmaker?
Not really. I was born in Solapur, and we are basically from a folk artist family. I belong to a nomadic folk artist family. We don't have a proper settlement kind of in our ancestral grandfathers and all. We used to stay in a slum in Solapur. My father and my grandfather used to stay there, and then my father took government service and he joined in a service, and then he moved to a nearer village from Solapur, which is around 100 kilometers or something. So he moved there and he started working as a junior college lecturer, a professor. And he was the first person in our family or in our ancestral history to get the job, and he was the first person. So in a way, it was a first thing. This idea of settlement came in our family, we can say. And as a middle class family, or the idea of cinema was always a very far or a very distant thing, we can say. In the school days at our village, one magician came and he wanted, like I wanted to become a magician actually.
Right.
Yeah, and I seriously pursued it for 3 years or something, and then his name was Bhairav Jadugar, and I pursued that passion for almost 3 years. I used to do a professional shows, also a semi-professional kind of shows in birthday parties or in school programs or something. I developed that interest. Like my father told me that you want to become a magician, there is no problem. You can go and learn magic school and all. And he searched few addresses for me, and he said there is one school in Bengal and one in Kerala. You can go and have a proper education of how to become a magician. But later I lost interest in like becoming a magician. I don't know why or something. I developed interest in theater. I wanted to become an actor or a theater director or something. So in the passion of theater, I migrated to Pune, which is a city, which is a big multicultural city. But after working for some months in theater, I found it very much we can say a superiority complex was there in the people who were making theater during my time. And in college day, I used to get ragged because of language, because of my vernacular accent, or the accent which they said that this is not a Praman Bhasha, or
Mhm.
this is not a proper language which people used to speak at that time.
Mm.
And then I moved to, and I decided to not to work in theater. And at that time, I've developed interest in cinema because uh, cinema gives us that loneliness, to celebrate that loneliness in the darkness, or in that
Sure.
dark theater. So I used to roam in Pune, watching films by every kind, from B grade soft soft pornographic films, to horror films, to Jackie Chan, to Michael Jackson, any films. So so those films had a huge impact on me. Also, I started reading a lot,
Okay.
literature,
Mhm.
Marathi literature, autobiographies of Charlie Chaplin, autobiography of V. Shantaram, Dada Kunke, and
Yeah.
books written by Satyajit Ray, our film,
Mhm.
their film, and um, the other films, Senses of Cinema, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So, so I started reading a lot, and then I thought I should join Film and Television Institute of India.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I went there. I went there in editing course, and later I thought that I should make my own films rather than a proper educational degree, or theoretical thing. And rather than choosing a path to go and assist somebody in Bombay, I
Mhm.
said if I want to make film, then I'll learn films by making films. So
Okay.
I left FTI. Left FTI after 2 years, after two
Mhm.
official year and unofficially 3.5 years or something.
Okay.
So I
And
left FTI, and I started making my films. Yeah,
mm,
please.
so you said you read a lot of books. Is that how you came to make your first? It was docu-fiction film on Balachandran Emade. So it came
Yeah,
from.
his this novel Hindu, which is always with me, it's my Bible for me. And
Mhm.
this is his interviews,
Uh-huh.
collected interviews, Niwdak Mulakhati we say. So interviews, and this is his novel, and his poetry book is always there.
Okay.
So he had a huge influence on me, and his literature is like path for me.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that he's the person who is doing the things which I want to do always, because he came from a small village and he
Uh-huh.
settled in Pune, and he wrote a cultural criticism in a fictional way. And the way Balachandra Nemade was trying to do a thing through the literature, I thought that I should document this person in a cinematic way.
Mhm.
So we combined his fiction along with his personality, so it got a docu-fiction form.
Mm.
And that film is entitled as Udaharnartha Nemade.
And with that being your first film, you said you didn't want to go and assist anybody. You wanted to make your own films. How hard was it to get that made?
Independent films, or the kind of cinema which am trying to make, is
Mhm.
always a difficult choice, because people are not used to this kind of a pace. uh, and in our films, story is a secondary part. Experience, or a cinematic imagination, or cinematic, we can say, a world
Mm.
is on a primary phase. So we cannot narrate the script, or we cannot tell what it is going to be look like.
Mhm.
So it is always a difficult choice for a first time filmmaker to make these kind of films.
Mhm.
So for Trija Radius, my first film, I
Yeah.
always told my team, like, it will look after it finishes the whole product. So rather than uh, narrating a script. Script is a one thing, but film will be a completely new experience, which is like script is just one layer of it,
Mm.
not the whole building.
Sure, sure, sure.
So,
And on Trijya, that brings me nicely on to my next question. If I understand, it was about a poet who was struggling to find his place in a city like Pune.
yeah, yeah.
And in Stalpuran, there's a similar sort of theme with Dighu, who is struggling to settle in a new home.
Yeah.
Is that something that you personally relate to?
Yes, those films are like these two films are mainly autobiographical. I would say they are
Hmm.
very close to my heart, and they derive from a very personal experiences, which I experienced and which are like with me throughout the year.
Hmm.
And in Trija, the protagonist is mainly trying to create a poetic world, and or he's trying to create an art which he can resonate in confrontation of the outside world.
Hmm.
So he's trying to create something as an expression of his inner turmoil or his inner dilemma or whatever his understanding about the society and inner self or something.
Hmm.
So, and in this film, Stalapuran, a child who is trying to understand the nature, understand the life, death, trying to understand the dynamics between the family, and his male ego is starting to it's getting developed in like he is trying to write a diary
Yeah.
which is very close to his heart, and he's trying to understand the world. It's
Mm.
yeah. And yes, it's those like these films are a personal autobiographical fiction. I say it's not a complete autobiographical, but some autobiographical
There's
elements are
parts of you in the film, in both films.
definitely.
Now with Stalpuran, it's very, very different from a lot of Marathi cinema, a lot of Indian cinema. How did the idea of making that film come about, and um, were you concerned about the reception of the film?
Never actually. If I concerned about reception, then I couldn't make it
Mm.
because filmmaking is like a self-doubt process always there. It is, am I going in the right direction? Am I making sense, or am I making am I not being too much indulgent with my
Hmm.
own work, or
Hmm.
this work is only fascinating me, or it is resonating with the other also. So those questions are always there, but I was firm with the pace, the treatment, the
Yeah.
sound, the way the narrative will move, and the way people will speak in the film, the way we'll see the space, the way it will unfold by a contemplating way.
Hmm.
I was very much firm, and I was very much sure about the treatment from the
Hmm.
beginning.
Okay.
And yeah, and I was like I would say I was firm
Hmm.
that someone will like the film,
Yeah.
not the mass or not the box office or not the Friday people or something, but
Uh-huh.
will like this, or someone will try to relate with it.
And you got a very good reception at Berlin, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was we're quite unlucky because you got to go to Berlin in person, but unfortunately, like I say, you couldn't come here. But maybe with your next film.
Yeah. Hope.
Now, with Stalpuran, you had what I would call a minimalistic approach to the film, and what I mean by that is it comes across as really being a passion project for you. Um, Now, looking through the credits, you edited and directed and did the sound design yourself, and you wrote, did the art direction, and did the casting alongside your wife Tejasri.
Color grading also. I was there. It was a
So,
yes. It was a very personal project. It was It was a truly independent project. Me, my wife Tejashri, and my co-writer, collaborator, and creative producer of the film,
Hmm.
and my uh, technical assistant, my and it was a very small team.
Mm.
My grading person, Kaustubh,
Was that by choice?
it was because it was by choice and due to the limitations of budget also. The way
Sure,
I couldn't, we couldn't uh, afford the big studios for the color grading or
of
sound
course.
mixing. So it was by choice, and it that process gave us that confidence to make films. To make a film, we don't need a big studios or something, and it's a very individualistic approach while making the film.
Hmm.
And I don't want to spoil that approach.
Yeah,
Like, because like whatever good or bad, we will uh, will enjoy that process of giving birth, and
yeah.
it became a very personal actually.
Okay, okay. And one of the, I suppose, one of the biggest parts of the film for me was the cinematography, which obviously, when it is a film, um, the English title is Chronicles of Space. So that obviously is a really, really important part. How did you come across the cinematographer Jagdish Ravi?
uh, we made I Tejasri, my collaborator, she saw his short film, and we thought that I was always looking for a new cinematographer, new
Hmm.
in a sense. He should be virgin with his ideas.
Yeah.
He should not lit up the space as it looks in the cinema, as it looks in the films. So I like whenever I told him the first thing that we don't want to create a film. We are not going to create film, or
Hmm.
don't light up the space as it looks in the films. So just lit up and keep it natural.
Hmm.
The energy of the space will come out of the contemplation,
Yeah.
and by not interfering with the characters, you just stay away with the characters, and it will start unfolding its emotions or energy or enigma, or the charm of that space.
Mm. And that happens throughout the film, actually, because a lot of the time, watching the film, you kind of feel that you are there,
Yeah,
not that you're watching the film. You feel part of it rather than as a
I
viewer.
always feel that it's like a looking from a window.
Yeah.
You're just yeah. And I don't want to interrupt between you and that film. When
Hmm.
film is complete, I'm nobody. I'm nobody to interrupt you. I it's like umbilical cord which cuts from the mother to baby, and it's just free flowing. Whatever interpretation, it's not a mathematics, or I don't want to create emotions with camera, or I don't want to use angles, low angle, mid angle, or I don't want to dramatize the whole situation, which
Sure.
is always dramatic, Human life, or human simple life, is always more dramatic than the filmic drama.
Hmm. Now, with the film, you mentioned the diary entries already. Why did you? The diary entries really move the story ahead and really explain a lot of what is happening, because the film itself has very little dialogue. Why did you choose that technique? Was it the same sort of thing, so you don't feel as though you're watching a film, you feel as though you're part of their journey?
Yeah, at some point while editing, I feel that I should go a little more closer to his inner mind.
Hmm.
And diary entries are very personal actually. Diary
Sure.
entries, which is very personal. In a diary, we can write anything.
Yeah.
You can write like he writes his mother was talking with another man.
Yes.
He didn't like that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is a male. It is a kind of understanding of adult life.
Hmm.
So it was a very personal things he is trying to express, and I wanted to create that proximity with the character. Also, first I just wrote diary entries, and then I thought I should develop a sense of time.
Hmm.
So we given
The
the date.
dates. Yeah.
So it started getting a sense of time also, like how time is passing.
Mm.
It was a narrative building choice, or we can say.
Okay. Okay. Um, and I think we have to speak about Neil Deshmukh. He was stunning in the film because, like you say, it seems like he was Digu. It didn't seem like he was acting at all. How did you find Neil?
My casting director Tejasri, she like we wrote almost like 100 shows or something, and we used to take interviews of child and like children, and we used to make groups, and we used to take interviews with of them. And suddenly in Thane, I think Thane or Kalyan, near to suburb to Mumbai,
Hmm.
uh, we found him. In a first glance only, we thought that this is the boy which is going to play Digu.
Hmm.
It was like his talking. He was introducing himself in a very interesting manner, in a
Hmm.
very mature way. He told us about his mother, and he was not mentioning anything about his father. So he was just mentioning about his mother. Then I thought this like his personal story is very much similar to the character, and he
Okay.
used to, yeah. So we thought that we should collaborate with him. So he was more than actor. He was a creative collaborator for me.
Okay. Okay. So was there a lot of improvisation on the set, or was it you stuck to?
Improvisation, I always feel that improvisation is always necessary actually to get the energy, to get the life, because I cannot write everything in this room.
Sure.
I mean, I'm now in Pune. I cannot write 500 kilometers location and what it is going to be like
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
So if clouds are there, then I should respond and I should respect that nature. And it is not like I'm writing the script, the human being, like
Hmm.
myself, and then I'm improvising.
Yeah.
So the same person is trying to create something. And what audience matters is not improvisation or a written proper hardbound Hollywood style script. They
Sure.
matter a life on screen.
Hmm.
So the idea and the notion of written complete foolproof script is, I find, too much studio oriented, too much industry oriented kind of a thing.
Okay.
And yeah, rather like we were just like, if rain is going to there, then I shall I shoot the indoor scene, or shall I shoot it like in the rain?
Right.
So if rain is there, then I should respect that rain.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
respect those cloudy atmosphere. I should respect those wind and all the natural elements,
Hmm.
rather than just stick to the script which is written in a closed house.
Sure. 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 Um, Now, talking about Diku, obviously, a lot of the film was about his relationships as well. So, um, firstly, the relationship with his sister Durga, that came across as being very, very real to me. There was a scene where Durga was teaching him, and
Mm.
he starts coughing, and she kind of rubs the side of his arm, and that seems so natural. And how did you get that chemistry between, and was that influenced? It reminded me of Satyajit Ray. Sorry.
Yeah, last one. What do you say?
And I was saying it reminded me of Poter Bachali, the Apu and Durga. So were you
It's
influenced by that?
tribute to it's tribute to Durga also,
Hmm.
and yeah, yeah, like it's tribute to Satyajit Ray also, and mm, we can say he's like they both are very good friends actually. They are from
Okay.
the same and they work with the same drama group or something. So
Uh-huh.
they are very good friends in the school, and that chemistry, like I've told them from the beginning that you don't act, just be in that situation,
Hmm.
just be there and do what it comes across. So it was a like I just told, just
Yeah.
teach him and do whatever you want to do, rather than giving a script and read this, narrate this, or remind this. You're teaching him, then teach.
Yeah.
Don't listen to cut or something, anything. I will say, I was never used to say cut or action.
Hmm.
I was saying, okay, we'll start doing, or like it was a working with actors, so I developed maybe knack with the actors, how to get the performances out.
Sure. Sure. With with the film, I mean, obviously it's doing very well at the film festivals, and we've seen it here at the UK Asian Film Festival as well. So really the final question from me, what is next for you? What have you got planned?
I'm trying to write a film called Construction.
Hmm.
Construction is a love story of two two persons. Like so, it's again a search of identity, search of roots, and like so far my films are very much personal in a way,
Yeah.
and this I'm trying to expand it in a social and political and cultural backdrop to it. So yeah, currently I'm trying to make it.
Hopefully we will see you here with that film in the future years.
Great. I would like to.
So Stilpuran, like I say, is showing as part of the UK Asian Film Festival. It's running from the 26th of May to the 6th of June, and the full program can be accessed on the website www.ukaff.com. Please follow the social media. Twitter is at come to UKAFF, and Instagram and Facebook at UK Asian Film Festival. Akshay, Indikar, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for speaking to us, and thank
Thank,
you for bringing Stalpuran to us.
thank you.
And
It's my
hopefully,
pleasure. I would like to thank all the programming committee, all the festival organizers, you, and I would like to say hi to each and every audience, and stay safe. Thank you.
and yeah, I like I say, we hope that with your next film, you can come and watch the film with the audience.
That would be pleasure.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.